All right, this is the handout that basically tells you how I grade, um, and tells you about how I do things. Homework via WebAssign. Homework online is started when I start the material. And my students in here will tell you that I think I even make out the test in front of y'all. Didn't I do that last semester? Yeah. I even make out the test. Now, it's going to algorithmically generate. It's going to change the numbers. So I'm not giving you the test and then you go home and take the exam. That doesn't work. Okay? What I do is I show you what the test is like. And then at the end, it asks me for due dates, and I put the due dates in, and y'all see me do it. So it's not like you're not going to see the due date. After I post the test, I usually put deadlines on what? The homework. My students will tell you. I'm very lenient. I fuss at them and I give them a hard time, Mr. Brooks. Okay? 6 months later, Mr. Brooks hadn't done his homework on Unit 1. Okay? Yeah, whatever. So he can pay somebody to do it. No, I'm sorry. So try to do the homework when you're supposed to, and don't be like somebody living in a ditch. All right? For example, this is made up. I have to do that because somebody will say, I thought Unit 1 covered Chapter 6. Anyway, hammies. If we are on Unit 1, and I cover 8.1 through 8.8, when we get to 8.7, that's why that first handout is so important. So you can actually see where we are, so you won't ask the question, when are we going to have a test on Unit 1? Because I will look at you and not reply. The look will be like, what planet are you on? Okay, because I've given you the handout that shows you where the Unit 1 test is. And I've told you that when we get toward the end of the unit, that's when we have a test. Now see, I do not spend a lot of time going over stuff like this because to me, once I give you that handout, you should be able to say, okay, 6.4 is about the end of the unit, so we probably going to have a test. And I don't sit there and have to tell you all this stuff. I don't know about printing out the homework because I don't know much about WebAssign as far as printing out the homework. Can y'all print out the homework? Have y'all tried that? Can you? Okay. But that's after. I'm talking about during the homework. Can you print it out and do it paper and pencil? Yeah, can you do that? I think you can. But I don't know how, so we'll have to learn that together. Okay, on the suck scale, WebAssign sucks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it sucks. But it's the only thing we got. And I begged and begged to have something for calculus because I wasn't going to do calculus the traditional way because it takes up too much time in class. So I have to do this. I am working with something called MindTap now. I'm on the committee for it. And it's going to be probably another couple of semesters before that rolls out. It's going to be with the Stewart book, and it's going to be alternative for teachers to use versus WebAssign. And we're going to try to make MindTap not suck, okay? Because WebAssign sucks. As far as compared to Course Compass, it really sucks. All right. If you don't see a start date or an end date, don't go hammy because it's not that important. I'm the one that needs to worry about what you cover and when you cover it. You don't need to worry about that. Online test, I will give you 2 chances. Well, sometimes I give you 3. I think I gave y'all 3 last semester, so I'll do that this semester. Course Compass will take the higher of the 2 grades. Just substitute WebAssign there. I will give you 7 to 10 days. You take the test on your time, and you can review and print out. 4 test grades, you average those 4 test grades up and multiply that, divide by 4, and multiply that by 60%. 60% of your grade comes from these 4 test grades. 20% comes from, homework, and 20% comes from what? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get there. Hold on. Yes, sir. What's your question? No, I don't do that. I don't do that because it's too much trouble, and y'all be trying to take over. And I don't do that. I only do it in special cases, like I think I did that with something. I think I did something like that with y'all last semester. I can't remember what I did, or there was one or two of y'all that didn't. One or two of y'all have the first test was screwed up by WebAssign. What did I do? Oh, I did. Well, I don't like you. Okay. Okay, I fixed it. What did I do in that case? In yours, is yours? Okay. Well, I don't usually have a reason to do that because I let y'all take the test over and over and over. So, um, I don't think I thought I did that last semester for somebody, but I might not have. Yeah, and there are cases like that. Sometimes WebAssign will drop the ball. I don't know what happened last semester, but there was all kinds of problems. Later on in the semester, there wasn't as many problems, so I don't know what happened. Um, but if there is a challenge problem, if there is a problem where you think you were treated unfairly, the only thing I need to tell you to do is when you're doing the test online, make sure you organize your notes in your notebook accordingly with the test. That way, if you need to challenge a problem and you show me that you got the right answer, but you typed in 2x to the fifth and it was supposed to be 2x to the third, and you got 2x to the third and you just hit the wrong number, then I'll work with you on that. But 57 and the answer is 2x to the third, I can't do much of that. But the work, always, I don't care what kind of forum, what kind of environment you're in, always organize your work accordingly in case you need to fall back on it. Always. In an organized fashion. Not chicken scratch all over the place. And yes, I am pretty lenient when it comes to challenging, because in the real world, that's the way it's done. I mean, if you mess up a problem in the real world, you go back and fix it. Or, you don't, you know, you don't get fired because you mess up on one little problem with calculation. You go back, well, y'all tell me how big the calculation is. But, on a big scale, if you find an error, you go back and fix it. Yeah. Okay, whatever that is. Oh, I'm supposed to go into cardiac arrest, aren't I? Ah, you got a phone in here. Leave. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, so that's that. Let's go to locator card. A little bit about me. I'm just going to throw this up here for one reason. I'm not going to tell you why I do this because it's a long story, but there is my info. If you need to get in contact with me, hold on. There it is. You have my cell phone, but if you need the second best way to get in contact with me is my office email. That's it. hmcclure@tctc.edu. That's it, pretty much. That's a little bit about me. One of the reasons I do this, to make a long story short, is I used to do different things to make the classroom comfortable, and we used to write things on cards, and we find out who had things in common. And that's why I had all this written, because I didn't like writing on every single classroom. So I would just put this up there, and we would compare, we would mix the cards up. And it was just a little psychology, sociology drill to show that everybody in the room had something in common with somebody else. I used to have favorite colors and stuff like that up there. Favorite color is yellow. I guarantee you in here somebody likes the color yellow. Somebody in here was born in December. Somebody in here went to West Side. Somebody in here, I don't know if you went to the Marine Corps or not, but most of you are attending Tri-County Tech. I was at Tri-County Tech. So is kind of a little thing that I used to do to make the classroom more comfortable. Now I just go through and let you tell how you failed in life and failed in calculus. Now I just do that to make y'all comfortable with each other. I'm just kidding. That's supposed to be a joke. Y'all just are offended. Oh yeah, if y'all are offended, I hate it. Because I am to math class like Donald Trump is to politics. I don't care. I'm glad political correctness is going out the freaking window. Okay, this is my number one. This is my number one handout right here. Gives you a little bit about my class. Okay, and we'll move that over. And you just need to jot down a few things because I just want you to jot down some things that, and this is a calc class. I don't have to worry too much about this, but I have to show it to you because it gives you an idea of what I expect. My number one rule again is I treat you the way that I want to be treated. Cell phones, I have a cell phone. I'm surprised it hadn't gone off this morning unless I've already put it on vibrate. I don't think I have. Yeah, I did. I put it on vibrate. This goes off. I have two children. One's in West Side, one's Mackley, right down the road. Their numbers are in there. Their school numbers are in there, and my mother's number is in there. Those three go off. I'm going out in the hallway and I'm going to answer it because they know that I'm what? Teaching between 8 and 2. And if I get a phone call between 8 and 2, I know something is what? Wrong. You have wives, girlfriends, mothers, fathers, siblings, daughters, sons, kids, whatever. Okay, grandma died 5 times. That looks like an alcoholic glass. Your phone does. Yeah, it looks like one of those things you drink out of. Anyway, that's what's on my mind. It's just called courtesy. Now, there's two things that piss me off. Let me ask you if it would piss you off. Let's say that Miss Anthony had a problem, and let's say it's a Calc 2 problem, and it's a conical tank. And unloading going out the top of the tank, and it's a multi-step problem, and she's coming up here after class, and she's asking me, she says, I did this, and I did this, and I did this. And in middle ways, when she's explaining to me how she's gotten to where she's gotten, I decide to start texting. What would you say? Why? But what's the difference in me doing that and you doing it while I'm teaching? Isn't it? It is. Now, two things that really piss me off is this. Why does that piss me off? Because you're insulting my intelligence and you're being rude. You're insulting my intelligence because you think I'm stupid enough to think that you're not texting under the desk. And then the other is you just have it out under the school meal. Okay? If you're going to text, where do you need to do it? In the hallway. You need to answer the phone in the hallway. If your phone goes off, I don't care. My phone goes off. I'm surprised I had it on vibrate, honestly. It must have went off when I first started class. But the whole point is, just be courteous. If it goes off, if your mother calls, your son calls, your school calls, daycare, whatever, go out there. Hey, stay out there for 30 minutes. I don't care. We had one girl, oh my gosh, I didn't tell you all this in South One, but we had one girl, whoo, I want to be married to her. She gave her boyfriend and husband down the country, and about 15 minutes after you listened to the whole conversation, you didn't listen to him. He didn't have a word in edgewise. Security was called by somebody down here in the offices. Security came and got her. She didn't stop talking. He escorted her out to the parking lot, and I watched. I was in 236 over there, and I watched, and she was still talking. And about 10 minutes after she got escorted out, she hung it up, turned around, and came back in. So you can do anything you want to in the hallway, or if you're escorted out in the. But the main thing is, don't do it in here. That's all I'm asking. Don't do it in here. Okay. This is not an online class, but I do the online work and homework and tests because that saves 11 to 12 days of teaching time. If I give y'all a test, which they're trying to infringe on that now, but like I say, I give y'all an in-class test, 5 questions, very easy questions that are on the homework that you should be able to do real quickly, and then tell everybody later that it was unbearably hard. Okay? They're infringing on my teaching time. But I'm not giving up my online testing because it works. It works because I spend 8 to 12 days that I could be doing paperwork, shuffling papers back and forth. Instead of doing that, I'm teaching. And I'm getting down into the math with you instead of doing paperwork, even though they're trying to take that away from me. So that's why I use it. Attendance policy. This is important because I do have some know-it-alls that come to class. All right? If you stay at home and develop a cure for cancer, I would appreciate it. Okay? I don't think I have any in here. And the reason I don't think I have any is because Calc 2 is usually not one somebody comes and says, I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to tell everybody how much I know about calculus. No, it's usually not. Usually you have these people in psychology. You ever had a psychology class where there's a guy or a girl in the psychology class that does more than the teacher does? Because they read an article on psychology? Well, that's one. I don't want them people in my classroom. Now, what is my attendance policy? As soon as you cross the threshold of that door, you're what? Here. So what does that mean? That means you can either stay in the class and sit through my lecture, or you can what? Go and do your 48-hour day work schedule. Whatever you do for 48 hours a day with 12 bad grandmothers. Okay? So that means, now do not come in here and leave me a note. That doesn't work. I'll pick it up and throw it in the trash can. I have to actually see you. You have to come up here. You have to tell me your name. And I'll say, okay, no big deal. But that's a double-edged sword. Why is it a double-edged sword? Because if you miss a lot of Calc 2, chances are you're going to get lost. Even if you have the videos, you're going to get lost because you're not going to sit there and go, okay, I missed Calc 2 again today. I better go check out the videos. It's hard to do both. Okay, so just telling you, use the attendance policy as mine, not for emergencies, but, if you have a bad day and you just don't want to come to class, I understand. Everybody has those. Right, Miss Anthony? Everybody has them. And instead of taking a handful of pills, and drinking a half pint like some people do, go home. Sleep it off, okay? Sleep off the bad day. I don't care. Watch the video. That's what the videos are for. It's for bad days and bad days that you can't make it to class. That's what the videos are for. My class is following, kind of like capitalism. You work hard, you what? You succeed. You don't work, you live in a ditch down by the river. Simple as that. No entitlements. You're not entitled to anything in this Calculus 2 course. You work, you pass. If you don't work, you fail. Right, Mr. Brooks? No, you never failed. Yeah, you're not a failure in life. Yeah, right. Don't say that. Somebody will take you seriously. All right. I generalize when I speak. I don't sit at home and say, well, I really don't like Mr. Ryder because he's in the Army and I really don't like him, so I'm going to pick on him and maybe he'll leave. Or, I don't really like Mr. Brooks. He's a failure, so I'm going to make fun of him, and as soon as he misses 3 days, I'm going to drop him. Okay, Hubert does not drop anybody unless he's forced to, because why? I'm sorry, what? Nope. I hate what? I hate filling out papers. I hate paperwork. I'm not a bureaucrat. I'm as far away from a bureaucrat as you can get. I hate paperwork. And if I drop you, then you'll grieve against student records and you'll want to get readmitted, and then I have to fill out double the paperwork. I'm not doing it. Okay? So I don't drop people unless you come to me and say, Hubert, I have no idea what you're talking about in there. I missed 15 days, so I need to drop it. Then I'll drop it. Or if your family, heaven forbid, something happens bad, and calls, student records calls and says you need to drop the student because of, or student records calls and say, this student hadn't paid the bills, drop the student. Something like that. That's the only way I'll drop a student. So you don't have to write me an email. I missed last week because my grandmother's brother, sister, cousin died, and I had to go to a funeral, and it took 7 days for them to bury this person, and my cat died, and I had a flat tire on the way back. And will you drop me? You're not going to drop me, are you? Will you get a reply? Nope. I've already told you. I'm not going to drop you unless I'm forced to drop you. Okay? Question. I'm not going to go over this. Typical class. All right? Somebody throw out a word that describes my class. It's admin. See, you know, people that can't pass, they can't follow simple directions. What were the directions? A single word. You gave me 15 syllables.
That is the way you say it. You're like, underwater fire, like in one word. And you say it all the time.
Underwater firefighting is not my class. I thought my class was difficult.
But it describes you and your life.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, a lot of people say comfortable. You know, normal people say comfortable. Laid back. Say again? Terrible. Okay. Well, that comes from somebody that failed 3 times. Corrupt and impressive. This comes from a guy that wears tinfoil on his head. Well, I think that was cool. Let's kill people by hitting those class. Anyway, I don't think you'll see too many people that say, Hubert's class was terrible, he sucked, and he's unfair, and he was obnoxious. I don't think you're going to find too many people say that. All right, that's a little bit about mine. Bring what you want to class. I don't care what you bring to class. Here's the big question y'all always ask. What if I have my father's calculus book? Bring it. Calculus has not changed in 2,000 years, or however long it's been around since Newton. All right? Newton, 1700, whatever. 1400. Long time. All right? Since all the Greeks, the whole development of calculus has not changed. It's not going to change. Not even with the calculator, T89. I do not use a calculator in calculus. We do not use a calculator in calculus. The whole point of calculus is to dissect, to tear apart, and to put back together and manipulate equations. That's what it's for. It's for your brain to actually figure out how to tear those breaks apart in the fastest way and put them back together. If not the fastest way, in different ways. That's exactly what you're teaching your brain to do. Nobody is ever, unless you're a math teacher, a physics teacher, or some kind of physicist or something, nobody's ever going to walk up to you and ask you what the antiderivative of arctangent is. Nobody. But what you will be asked to do is take a problem, tear it apart, figure out the different ways that you can put it together, and find out the best way to put it back together. That's what you're training your brain to do in physics and in Calc 1, 2, and 3. That's what you're training your brain to do. Nobody's ever going to walk up to you and ask you this stuff. But you got the problem-seeing part of your brain, and you got a problem-solving part of your brain. And the dendrites and the brain cells have a little highway right there. And the more you use those two things, the bigger the highway gets. The bigger the highway gets, the faster you get to go. The faster your problem-solving abilities become. So please, if you're sitting in a calculus class and you're saying to yourself, when am I ever going to have to do the derivative of 2x squared, I will tell you, never, that you as an engineer are going to have to manipulate, dissect, take apart, put back together, and find the best way to put it back together of any problem that you're going to solve, whether it's a bridge, or whether it's a mechanical part, or whether it's a computer, or whether it's an algorithm. All of those you have to do. Okay? If you've ever worked on a set of brakes on a car, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not talking about the calipers with the brake shoes. I'm talking about a drum set of brakes. You know, on a 69 Mustang or a 69 Camaro. Take the wheel off. There's a big drum there. When you pull that drum off, the insides of those brakes, if you've ever taken them apart, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because there's one way to take it apart, and the best way to take it apart, but you got to figure that out, unless somebody's telling you to do it. Okay? So bring whatever you want to bring. The most important thing for you to be doing, there's 2-3 things that you need to be doing for the next 3 days. One, you need to figure out what you want to bring to class. I don't care. But you don't need to bring a calculator because 90% of your points are going to come from setting up the problem. Okay? Just like last semester. I really didn't care whether you got to 36.2 or whether you got 2 pi over 4 or 2 pi over 3. I don't care about that. I care about the 90% getting to that point. That's what I care about. 2, you need to know whether you're going to bring your book, you're going to share a book, you're going to use the e-book online and print it out and bring it to class. You're not going to bring anything to class as far as the book. I don't care what you bring as far as the book. 3, you need to get the access code. How? You can get it from, can you get it by itself in the bookstore? Okay? Get it with the book or get it online. When you go to WebAssign, it's going to ask you for that course ID. There is a 14-day to 21-day grace period. So that's for all you people that like to use the 12-bed grandmothers. You know, I couldn't pay and bull. You got 14 days. That's 2 weeks into the semester. So nobody should be behind on their homework unless you're just too lazy to go register. So those 3 things are the most important. Now, what about math-wise? Math-wise, what I would suggest you do is either go in your book or take your syllabi from calculus and to go over the derivatives, the antiderivative laws, or go on my Facebook and pull up my calc from last semester and start going over antiderivatives and derivatives, because that's what I'm going to assume that you know for this class. So those are the 4 things that you need to start working on. Okay? And I do not like people getting ready to leave before what does that constitute? That constitutes people zipping their book bags, packing their book bags, making their watch or phone go off like it's the end of the hour. I know it's 15 till, okay? So don't be doing that because I'll call you out and say that you're rude. So don't do that. I think that's pretty much everything here. There's a Hubert's ideologies. I usually go over that with lower level courses because y'all are in Calc 2. I don't need to go over the motivation speech with y'all. So I need to go over and see who's in here now. So I can make fun of y'all's names. Let's see. And I'll cut off the handy dandy